Following his march on Rome, the expulsion of Marius and his son, and the executions of the conspirators, Lucius Cornelius Sulla turned his immediate attention toward creating stronger allies. The recent death of House Speaker and leader of the Optimates, Marcus Aemilius Scaurus, left the beautiful widow, Caecilia Metella Dalmatica, upon whom Sulla's eyes fell. Dalmatica was the daughter of Metellus Dalmaticus, who had been Rome's Pontifex Maximus, or state priest. Upon the death of her father in 103 BC, Dalmatica passed into the custody of her uncle, Metellus Numidicus, who quickly married her to the elderly Scaurus in order to solidify his alliance with the House Speaker during their political opposition to the liberal agenda led by Gaius Marius. Dalmatica gave Scaurus 2 children, a girl named Aemilia Scora, and a boy to replace the son Scaurus had lost when the Germans attacked Tridentum. In order to publicly solidify his position with the Optimates, Sulla negotiated an alliance with the clan of Metelli, who had sat at the heart of conservative politics since before the rise of Gaius Marius. Sulla's first wife, the patrician, Julia, had died at a somewhat young age. Though we do not know in which order, Julia gave Sulla 2 children. The boy, named after his father, did not survive his minority. The girl, named Cornelia Sulla, lived to adulthood, marrying the son of Sulla's consular running mate. By the time Sulla reached the consulship in 88 BC, he was on his 3rd marriage. His wife, Cloelia, however, did not carry the same level of prestige as Dalmatica. On the grounds of barrenness, Sulla sent Cloelia a bill of divorce, and then he married Dalmatica only a few days later. There was little doubt Sulla's marriage to Dalmatica was extremely prestigious for him. By marrying the leader of the Optimates' widow, a symbolic princess of the conservative Metelli family, Sulla was practically announcing that he was the new leader of the Optimates. Rome, however, grumbled over the union of the daughter of a Pontifex Maximus and a man who would blaspheme everything sacred to Rome by crossing her border at the head of his invading army. They considered the marriage far beneath the dignity of such a priestly family. However, Sulla's legions occupied the city. And so, like a sacrificial queen, Dalmatica married Sulla and, along with her 2 children, moved into the home of Lucius Cornelius Sulla, Rome's criticisms notwithstanding. Besides his new wife and 2 new stepchildren, Sulla's eldest daughter was also forced to return to her father's home at this time. She had married the son of Sulla's colleague, Quintus Pompeius Rufus. Unfortunately, during the riots led by the street gangs employed by Gaius Marius and Publius Sulpicius Rufus, Cornelia Sulla's husband had been bludgeoned to death in the streets. With 2 young children of her own, the young widow joined her father and his new bride. It is easy to imagine that Dalmatica and Cornelia, both widows with children, found companionship in one another, which might create family harmony for Sulla. But, his daughter needed a new husband, and Sulla needed more allies to protect his legal rights once he left Rome to battle Mithridates. Following the assassination of Marcus Livius Drusus, who had been a member of the College of Pontifices, his vacant seat needed filling. Drusus's brother, Mamercus Aemilius Lepidus Livianus, who had been adopted into a childless Aemilius Lepidus family, succeeded his brother in the college. Following his brother's death in 91 BC, Mamercus also gained custody of the 5 nieces and nephews born to their late sister, Livia Drusa, as well as the son Drusus had adopted. Mamercus served in the Social War under the conservative commander, Metellus Pius, where he distinguished himself by killing the Italian consul, Quintus Popedius Silo. Arranging an alliance with the young man, Sulla married his daughter to Mamercus Aemilius Lepidus Livianus. Vacating her father's home, Cornelia Sulla and her 2 children moved in with her new husband, where she became the mother figure to 6 additional children of varying ages. The people of Rome, who loved and worshipped Gaius Marius, resented their hero's exile and Sulla's continued occupation of the city. So, in order to demonstrate the bona fides of his republican intentions, Sulla supported 2 candidates for the 87 BC consular elections. One candidate was an optimate, the other a populari. The conservative candidate was Gnaeus Octavius, nephew to the same Marcus Octavius who had vetoed Tiberius Gracchus's land bill, prompting Gracchus to abuse the office of tribune of the plebs. The liberal consular candidate was one of Sulla's distant relatives, a man named Lucius Cornelius Sulla, who had thrown his lot in with the populares. Following the election, while both candidates were still consuls designate, Sulla took a page out of Marius's playbook. He forced both men to swear a public oath before the temple of Jupiter Capitolinus. Octavius and Cinna were each forced to cast a stone from the top of Clivus Capitolinus, or Capitol Hill, while publicly swearing to Jupiter Optimus Maximus, and the Roman people, that they would preserve goodwill for Sulla, lest they be thrown out of Rome, as the stone was thrown from their hands. This oath was a public promise that the consuls would not, as had already happened, strip Sulla of his command against Mithridates. Cinna was made to swear this oath because he was a Marian, who Sulla could not trust, supported only to appease the masses who now feared that, with no Marius, they had lost any voice in government. Octavius was forced to swear because, though he was a conservative, he had publicly denounced Sulla's unconstitutional march on Rome. Both men willingly took the oath, and then waited for their consular term to begin. From the sidelines, they watched in the final months of the 88 BC year, as Sulla made one alliance after another, one marriage on top of another. Sulla stacked the Senate so that the conservative faction could not be easily overrun again by an aggressive tribune of the plebs with an agenda of self-glorification.